ask my tech to bring Patricia to the platform, and we're going to kind of chat it up just a quick second before I allow her to do her thing. Hey, Patricia, how you doing?
Albert, you brought me to tears. Thank you, or close to it.
Listen, it's the truth. And I know you sent me your bio, but I had to let people know just how powerful the piece of work that you do. And even, I'm not trying to get caught up right now, but just to think about the power of your voice and the power of using words to shape how we think and how we live and all the things that we do is such amazing experience. And so I really am interested to really hear your story and let people know your unique story.
All right. Thank you, Albert. I'm thrilled and honored to be here. Albert and I spoke in a parking lot a few weeks ago and said, Patricia, would you consider debuting this collaboration on my conference on December? And I said, and I got to tell you, there was some fear, because I have some fear about putting what is about to be released for the first time with this listening audience in a few moments. But it has to be done. So I'm Patricia Starek. I've been writing poetry since I was 14. First poem I ever wrote was in the wake of my parents' separation and divorce. I have had the comfort of words to power me through crisis since I was a little girl. Okay, great. So I'm going to share one poem with you, and then Albert is going to key up a collaboration that I made. And I think this speaks to mindset a bit about being a white woman in the world. I have been trying to write about my place as an ally and a white woman for over 20 years. The poem I'm going to share with you first, I wrote over 20 years ago. And then what I'm going to share with you now, I do think is a manifestation of trying to do exactly what I'm naming here. I've only ever read this poem out loud 2 times, which talks about fear-based. But I felt today it was the right day to do this. I'm going to start off by mentioning a dear friend of mine, Glennis Redmond, who's a powerful poet. If you don't know her, she and I did a collaboration about 15 years ago, asking us to find our role models. And in one of the chat features, someone said, I don't have a role model. And that's what this poem is called. It's called, I Need a Role Model. Here I go. As Glennis instructs us to reclaim Zora, discover Fanny, pay homage to Harriet, I slide into the slope of my stomach, the roller coaster of my gut, the alone of my quest. I am looking for her. She will lead my way. I am looking for my inspiration, for that white woman whose name we all know, who decorates our history books, who declined her vote until all women could cast their voices into the sea of dissent, consent, resent, cement. Where is she? I know she stood up, civil rights, equal rights, but now she seems to be seated at the table of her own confusion, and I can't find her. I scour Barnes and Noble for white voices and end up in the African American section. There I can find books telling me what it means to be white. Here's the thing, the whole darn bookstore is filled with books written by white people about white people, but they don't talk about being white people. They talk about being a person and only mention race when it is someone other than them. I find a book about white anti-racists who have too much humility to claim their struggle. They know the depth of their struggle and choose to remain humble. Okay, humble is fine, but I need a role model. Let me stop here and talk to you for a minute. I went to one of the best public high schools in North Carolina. I went to a liberal arts college. I had liberal teachers, liberal parents, liberal church. And when I scanned through the list of white women who paved the road for me, this is who comes to mind. Betsy Ross. She just comes to mind and leaves me with no instructions. Joan of Arc, Queens of England, Queens of Russia, Queens of Egypt, the Grimke sisters, Juliet Hampton Morgan. I think I could do something with them. I need a role model. I take a step away from the history books and I land on my mother. I land on my mother's mother, a daughter of the American Revolution. I land on my Quaker godmother. I land on countless white female friends, brazen in their lack of naivete. I land on Naomi Wolf, Gloria Steinem, Ani DeFranco, and I land on me. I am the daughter of a new revolution. I want to overstand. I want to post-judge. I am pro-human. I am not colorblind. I see white. I see sand. I see mocha. I see earth. I see you. I am the daughter of a new revolution. Woo! It's been a while, you guys. So I wrote that a long time ago. I bring it to you today. Cut to 2020. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. I am now the mother of 2 Black sons who sit in the next room, and I married a man who I met at a camp for struggling youth over 20 years ago. Prior to our marriage, he sat me down as we were getting a little bit serious and said, "Are you prepared to have a Black son?" Did I know what that mean? And honestly, did I know what that mean? No. So I wrote this poem. I recorded it with the artist Black Cracker 20 years ago, put it on a CD, and 2020 came and it haunted me. I said, this is the thing I can do to raise my voice, to put my perspective out there. So I turned to my colleague, Arlis Lopez. She's here with us. Give her a little bit of love. She is a gifted animator and producer who did some other work with me. And she, in off hours on her own time, turned my words into a beautiful visual piece. So with that, I give you this poem. Mark, my friend Albert, who as I knew is about to share it with you. And I humbly ask you if you feel moved to share this with others, to put the perspective out there to put this perspective out there. So I'm going to ask Mark to go ahead and cue it up.
You have done it again, Mr. Police Officer, Ms. Police Officer. You have pulled him over again, suspect. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Georgetown, South Carolina, Albany, New York, Troy, New York, Artsdale, New York, Yonkers, New York, Atlanta, Georgia. Too many to deny. You have pulled him over again. You have pulled him over again, suspect. Mistaken identity, gas station, you surround him, 4 or 5 cars on his way home, just buying beer. Out of the car, you demand. Walk backwards, hands in the air, the crowd grows. Casually, another cop mentions that the suspects were in the number of 4, and your car seats 2. No ticket. Crossing the yellow line, upstate New York. Profiling is not new to New York. Curious cop, why were you stopped? Reading your map, lost, looking for workers who need representation, who have experienced discrimination. He asks you about the contents of your lunch. Suspects, it's a little too early in the day to have a cocktail. You crossed the yellow line 3 times. No citation, just a warning. I'm gonna let you go this time. No ticket. Because you did not pass a cop, suspect. You did not pass her in Yonkers, and she wonders what you have to conceal. Chibi-weeby, wacky tobacky, she calls back up. 2, 3, 4 more cops and a crowd-control vehicle. She finds nothing. No
let you off this time.
New York thruway speeding, coming home to the borough of Brooklyn. Home to home meals, home cats, home love. 2 a.m., 82 in a 65. Ticket. Suspect rental car, Myrtle Beach Black Bike Week. Why do you have this car? Where are the rental papers? Who paid for this car? Where are you going now? Can I search the car? Why does it have Mississippi plates? No ticket. He runs your plates, she runs your plates. Prejudice runs wild. License poured over. There must be something. There must be something. Pulled over, waiting for an auto body shop to open as you sit in your car in a parking lot. Pulled over for looking at a map, out-of-state plates. There must be something between your braids and black skin. There must be something there. Suspect. Does he suspect fish? Your quiet self can meditate on the creatures of the sea for hours. Calls home while on the road to ask about the fish. Which live plant to place in their home will least upset their ecosystem? Does he suspect kids? Your heart laced in a basketball found on a court decorated with bad, angry, wounded kids who find refuge in your jokes, secrets in your smile, truth in your every fiber, slender frame. Does she suspect grandma? This lady at the pinnacle of your lineage. Your beloved grandmother, her beloved grandson, always an errand, always a hand to lend to help her deliver food to the less fortunate. Can he read how homelessness slowly gnaws your spirit? This conundrum softly tears your compassionate heart. You, New York City denizen, always find their eyes. Does she imagine me, white girlfriend you can embrace despite all your collegiate education and real-world miseducation? You never say no to a foot rub, mouth in need of ear, arms easily encircle my waist. You, who aspired to be the least threatening black man, hold doors, call people by their names, tip like Providence, all the while women clutch purses. Step off elevator, suspect, car doors snap shut, lock as you approach, suddenly vulnerable. And you still smile. As much as I fear being the victim, you fear being the suspect. As much as I fear being the victim, you fear being the suspect. You sit me down at that crucial crossroads. Am I prepared to have a black son suspect? Do I know what that means? Born a suspect, born a suspect. And while I see sun, and while I see lover, and while I see God, you will always be suspect.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for sharing, Albert. I do want you to know that Arliss took real photographs and animated them. So that is the gift she's giving us. I thank you. Go into your power break. If you feel inclined to share, we're going to pop this into the chat, the link on YouTube. And it's been inspiring to be here. I'm going to hang out with the rest of you today and participate in the rest of the sessions. Thank you.